You should check your facts.
I am happy to go back and do
Yeah,
that,
you
and
should
I'll
check your
provide you
facts,
with
but
the
the bottom
information
line is,
that we had.
You, like the majority of the members of the Progressive, just say whatever you want to. You defamed a man who is a legal immigrant, by the way, in the United States of America. You went on a tirade about one of the local small-town facilities that I represent, and everything you said was a damn lie. It was a lie.
May I respond,
Madam Chair, with another lie?
Well, let me just first say that it is inappropriate for you to call a member of Congress a liar, and you should take down your words for that.
Mr. Scott, do you have any questions?
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. And I, too, am very concerned about health care, and I represent the Irwin County Hospital, and there have been a lot of false accusations made by people in this committee today. And I'd just like to ask you, Ms. Jayapal, you've made a lot of statements about things that happened in Irwin County. Can you tell me exactly how many medical procedures were done and what the peer review said about those procedures?
Well, I'd be happy to go back and look at the exact data. I don't have it in front of me, but what I know is that we had proof, including from people who had had those procedures done to them.
No, you didn't.
We did,
You
sir.
did not.
I'm happy to give you all
What?
the documentation of it. And that facility was appropriately closed down because women were having medical procedures done to them without their knowledge. And they were waking up from those procedures and finding that suddenly they were not able to
There were no
have
medical
children.
procedures done at that facility.
Sir,
There were no
you're-
medical
you're-
procedures done at that facility.
You're incorrect, sir.
They were all done at the Irwin County Hospital. Are you aware that the physician actually won the lawsuit against NBC Universal? There were 2 medical procedures done, 2, both of which were deemed under peer review to be medically necessary. You should check your facts.
I am happy to go back and do
Yeah,
that,
you
and
should
I'll
check your
provide you
facts,
with
but
the
the bottom
information
line is,
that we had.
You, like the majority of the members of the Progressive, just say whatever you want to. You just say whatever you want to. You defamed a man who is a legal immigrant, by the way, in the United States of America. You went on a tirade about one of the local small-town facilities that I represent, and everything you said was a damn lie. It was a lie.
May I respond,
Madam Chair, with another lie? 2 medical procedures, both seem deemed to be medically necessary under peer review. Madam Chair, I yield the remainder of my time.
Madam Chair,
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
I've never quite seen an exchange like that.
Yeah.
I think the gentlelady is entitled to.
Mr. McGovern, I'm going to
All right, thank you.
allow Ms. Jayapal a brief response.
Well, let me just first say that it is inappropriate for you to call a member of Congress a liar, and you should take down your words for that. Secondly, I will say that I'm happy to provide all of the testimony from the individuals who had medical procedures performed on them. And you can judge for yourself. But I do not appreciate, Madam Chair, being called a liar. I don't think that's appropriate in this committee. I demand that the gentleman take down his words.
Madam Chair, I do not object to my words being taken down. I should not have called her a liar.
Mr. Scott, just a moment. Ms. Jayapal, I'm happy for you to present to the committee whatever evidence that you have. You know the rules and regulations. You have 5 days to present that information to us. Now I'm going to recognize Mr. Scott because I believe he wants to say something to you.
Good, I appreciate that.
I apologize for calling you a liar. I do believe the things that you said were a lie. I will tell you, Madam Chair, I will ask if I called her a liar. I apologize to the committee, and I will not object to those words being taken down, and I look forward to the presentation of the evidence.
I have a procedural question. Does that count?
Yes, it counts. Yes, it counts. Thank you very much. Ms. Scanlon.
I'd like to yield some time to Mr. McGovern.
Yeah, I don't really think that's good enough, to be
I
honest
don't
with
either.
you. Because basically it's the same, you're saying the same thing. And and we have heated exchanges in this committee. And believe me, there are lots of people that come before this committee that, I need to be restrained in my response because they're so over the top. But I don't believe I've heard anybody ever call a witness a liar in this committee before.
Well, I appreciate Mr. Scott taking back his words. If we were on the floor, Ms. Jayapal, that would be sufficient. I have been in the chair when people's words have been taken down, and I understand what happens in that case. I'd like to move on from this situation and recognize Ms. Scanlon for her questions.
I don't even know whether any of our options that we would normally take advantage of on the floor are available to us today, but it's not just calling somebody a liar, it's calling their words a lie. They're both, to me, equally offensive. And I would wish the gentleman would withdraw all of those statements. I think that would be more appropriate. He could disagree with the statements, he could ask for more information, he could say he has other information that contradicts it, and we can then have that debate. But calling somebody a liar or calling what they just said an absolute lie is the same thing. And I think those words should be stricken from the record.
Thank you, Mr. McGovern. I'll give Mr. Scott does not wish to respond.
Madam Chair,
Oh, you do.
this is my district. It's less than 30 minutes from where I live. The medical procedures, there was peer review done on the medical procedures. They were deemed to be medically necessary. The physician won a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against NBC Universal for all of the lies that NBC Universal told about him, and referring to him as a uterus collector, I believe is what they were referring to him as. So,
Those were not,
those were not that's not what you said. It was what NBC Universal said. But no medical procedures, no surgical procedures are done at the Irwin County Detention Facility. They were all done at the local hospital.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification, Mr. Scott. Ms. Jayapal, I will recognize you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've been on your committee. I was on your committee for years in Ed and Labor. I've served on the Judiciary Committee for years, including under Republican chairs, and in very contentious debates. And never have I been called a liar. And I will just say that there are a lot of facts that the gentleman is misrepresenting. First of all, I never said those words, uterus collector. Secondly, the lawsuit was settled. There are numerous lawsuits that are settled where there is no finding of wrongdoing. It is a settlement. And there are numerous reasons why that lawsuit was settled. But we can go into all the facts, but for a colleague on the other side of the aisle to sit in this committee, call me a liar, and call the things I say lies is absolutely inappropriate. And I ask you, Madam Chair, because you have been fair when I have asked you these things before, not in this situation, in committee, that he take down all of those words, including that the things I said were lies. That is simply not true. I don't accept it, and I don't appreciate it. I will move on, but I would like to ask that he take down those words.
Well, Mr. Scott has apologized to you, and
so those words will be stricken from the record, that I am a liar and that what I said was a lie?
I believe that they will be
Great.
as a result of that.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Madam Chair.